My name is Autumn Hayes. And on my sister's wedding day, she handed me an ugly orange dress that was 3 sizes too big. Flushed heartbreak. The bridesmaids laughed. My sister smiled. And my mother whispered, "At least now nobody will mistake you for the bride." The humiliation burned through me. I knew exactly why she did it. She wanted me looking ridiculous in every photo. Invisible, embarrassing, forgettable. But what nobody expected was for the groom's 80-year-old grandmother to stand up in front of the entire reception and say 7 words that would completely change my life. My name is Autumn Hayes. I grew up in Savannah, Georgia. My entire childhood revolved around one simple rule. My older sister Brianna always came first. Always. If Brianna wanted something, she got it. If Brianna made a mistake, excuses appeared. If I succeeded at something, attention somehow returned to Brianna anyway. Growing up, family members constantly compared us. Brianna was considered beautiful. I was considered sweet. Brianna was charismatic. I was quiet. Brianna was special. I was simply there. At least that's how it felt. The favoritism wasn't hidden. Everyone saw it. Nobody discussed it. My mother especially treated Brianna like royalty. Every birthday became a production. Every achievement became family news. Meanwhile, I learned celebrating quietly. By the time we became adults, I stopped expecting fairness. Then Brianna got engaged. The wedding planning immediately became chaos. And somehow, I became her favorite target. Nothing I did seemed right. Wrong flowers, wrong opinions, wrong hairstyle, wrong existence. Yet I kept helping. Because despite everything, she was still my sister. 3 months before the wedding, Brianna asked me becoming a bridesmaid. I accepted. Big mistake. The problem started with the dresses. All bridesmaids received elegant navy gowns. Everyone except me. When I arrived for fittings, Brianna handed me a garment bag. Inside sat a bright orange dress. Not elegant orange. Not fashionable orange. Traffic cone orange. The kind of color impossible ignoring. At first I assumed it was a mistake. Then Brianna smiled. "Yours is different." Different. That word should have warned me. I tried the dress on. It was enormous. 3 sizes too large. The shoulders slipped. The waist hung awkwardly. Everything looked ridiculous. I stared at myself in the mirror horrified. The bridal consultant looked uncomfortable. Even she knew. I quietly said, "I think this is the wrong size." Brianna shook her head. "No, that's the one I ordered." Ordered. Not accidental. Intentional. Then Mom entered. The moment she saw me, she laughed. Actually laughed. "Well, nobody will mistake you for the bride." The room chuckled awkwardly. Meanwhile I felt my face burning. I wanted crying. Instead I smiled weakly. Like always. The wedding week became worse. Family members constantly praised Brianna. Meanwhile several relatives openly joked about my dress. One aunt even asked, did they run out of fabric for everyone else? More laughter. More humiliation. By wedding day, I felt completely defeated. The ceremony itself looked beautiful. White flowers. Historic venue. Perfect weather. Perfect photographs. Except for me. Every photo featured a giant orange disaster standing beside elegant bridesmaids. Exactly as Brianna intended. And honestly, it worked. I felt invisible. Not because people couldn't see me. Because nobody seemed caring how I felt. Then came the reception. The moment everything changed. During dinner, guests mingled around tables. Music played softly. People laughed. I quietly sat alone near the back of the room, trying surviving the evening. Then someone approached. An elderly woman. Silver hair. Sharp eyes. Elegant posture. The groom's grandmother. Her name was Evelyn Whitmore. Everyone respected her. She came from one of the most successful families in Georgia. But more importantly, people listened when she spoke. She sat beside me silently. Then asked, "Did you choose that dress?" I almost laughed. Finally, someone noticed. I explained everything honestly, not dramatically, not bitterly, just truthfully. Evelyn listened carefully, then looked toward the bridal table. Her expression changed, and honestly, it terrified me slightly, because suddenly she looked angry. Very angry. A few minutes later, she stood, picked up a microphone, and interrupted the reception. The entire ballroom fell silent. Evelyn rarely spoke publicly, which meant everyone paid attention immediately. Then she said, "Before tonight ends, I'd like saying something." People smiled politely, assuming she'd congratulate the newlyweds. Instead she pointed directly toward me. My heart nearly stopped. Then she said 7 words changing everything. Kindness reveals beauty. Cruelty reveals character. Silence. Complete silence. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Then Evelyn continued, calmly, clearly, powerfully. She explained how she noticed one bridesmaid intentionally isolated through clothing choices. How she witnessed subtle humiliation throughout the day. How dignity mattered more than appearances. The room became painfully quiet. Guests exchanged nervous looks. Several bridesmaids stared at the floor. My sister looked horrified. Then Evelyn said something unforgettable. "The most beautiful woman here tonight isn't wearing white." Gasps. Actual gasps. And suddenly everyone knew exactly who she meant. Me. For perhaps the first time in my entire life. Someone publicly defended me, not because they had to. Because it was right. I started crying immediately, not from sadness. Relief. Years of relief. Years of feeling unseen. Years of pretending mistreatment didn't hurt. All breaking free. After the speech, something remarkable happened. Guests started approaching me, talking, listening. Several admitted noticing the dress situation earlier. One bridesmaid apologized. An uncle quietly confessed he always disliked how family treated me. For once, people stopped pretending. Meanwhile Brianna looked furious. But something had shifted. Her control disappeared. The narrative changed. Then came the biggest surprise. Evelyn's grandson wasn't the only successful person in her family. Her granddaughter, Charlotte Whitmore, happened operating a major nonprofit foundation. And she happened sitting nearby. Throughout the evening, Charlotte spoke with me extensively. She learned about my work, my goals, my passion for community development projects. 2 weeks later, she called. Then offered me a leadership position within the foundation. A position doubling my salary. Providing opportunities I never imagined. And changing my career forever. All because one woman chose speaking up when everyone else stayed silent. The months following the wedding transformed my life. New city, new opportunities, new confidence. For the first time, I built a life independent from family approval. Meanwhile Brianna struggled, not because karma magically punished her. Because people finally saw behavior they previously ignored. Relationships changed, trust weakened, and eventually she confronted uncomfortable truths about herself. Years later, she actually apologized. A real apology, not excuses, not blame, accountability, the first genuine one I'd ever received. And while forgiveness took time, healing finally became possible. Today, whenever I see photographs from that wedding, I smile. Not because of the humiliation. Because of what happened afterward. Because sometimes the moment people try hardest making you feel small becomes the exact moment life starts proving your worth. And sometimes all it takes is one brave voice speaking truth publicly. People who try humiliating others often reveal more about themselves than their target. True beauty comes from kindness, character, and integrity. And never underestimate the power of one person willing to stand up for someone being treated unfairly. If this story touched your heart, thumbs up, like this video. Bell, subscribe for more emotional family drama stories. Speech balloon, comment below. What would you have done if your sister intentionally embarrassed you at her wedding? Crying heartbreak.